my name is Vivi and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to do a little, first impressions, I guess, of the Alice in Wonderland Tarot deck. This is the Disney version. And if you ordered it on Amazon and you're confused about how I have it, you can get it at Barnes & Noble. You don't have to wait for the pre-order. This is a Barnes & Noble exclusive edition, which means it comes with this cute little tarot bag, a little deck bag. It just has like a little logo on it, and it has her falling down the rabbit hole, and I like it. It's a little velvety. Nothing too fancy, but yeah, go to Barnes & Noble and grab it. Okay, so I'm not going to be doing like a quick flip through, so if you're looking for that kind of video, apologies, but this is not going to be that. I like to talk about every little detail and take my time, so welcome. Okay, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time on the cardstock, except to say that it is super awesome. I love this cardstock. It's thin, but it holds its shape. I don't know how to describe this part. It's like satiny, but a little bit, what do you call that? Rose petal-y? Okay. Other people will be able to explain that better to you. I did shuffle the deck already and then put it back in order because that's how much I love the cardstock. I was just like, I need to shuffle it. Like, I'm still like doing this right now. Okay. I feel like no Alice in Wonderland deck is going to be perfect. So, don't expect that. For instance, if you've ordered any of any of the Disney decks, you'll know that, like the other ones, this is a pip deck. These are all the minors. I didn't put them back in order. Yeah, so there's that. But I was going to get this deck regardless. So I do have some memories with Alice in Wonderland. This movie came out when I was, it came out before I was born, but the VHS version came out and I saw it when we were at Blockbuster in the 90s. And like, just imagine being a 4-year-old and seeing like this whimsical, quirky looking world. Yeah, so basically, I guess, I don't remember this, but I guess I threw a tantrum at Blockbuster, and my dad, I guess, was embarrassed and bought it for me. Now, I'm not proud of that story, but I was 4 years old, so whatever. But the reason it's not a memory for me, but the reason that stands out for me is because today is actually the anniversary of my dad's passing. And so I got this last night and then had that realization today. And I was like, wow, I don't know. I feel like I'm getting to look at this deck with him in my heart. And yeah, it was just a little synchronicity, and like, it makes me feel like he's still with me. I have more memories. Maybe I'll share them as we're flipping through. Okay, so this is the Fool card. It's Alice. I'm going to mention some things throughout that I wish there was, but stuff that I love as well. But like, one of the things I wish there was is the rabbit hole that she goes down, or maybe like the rabbit. But what I do like is that this shows her curious nature that led her to Wonderland. And you see little Dinah, like the little dog in the Rider-Waite-Smith version. And the daisies. Yeah. Alice is the Fool. Then we have the Magician. And this is the Mad Hatter. Oops, sorry about that. And I love this one because it's the teapot as above and the teacup so below. And if you're spiritual like me, I view that as source, and that's what fills your cup. Yeah, but this is like the wand that the magician traditionally holds up top. Yeah. And then we have the mystery card. And I'm going to set this one aside because you'll see a connection to another card later that I love. But I do like the renaming of the High Priestess to the Mystery. And the Cheshire Cat totally has that vibe. So I do love this card. And you see two pillars here. But they're not opposite colors. Oh, you know what though? What's visible is an opposite color to the pillars, which is a cool like little illusion. Nice. Okay, so I'll set that one aside. Then we have the Empress and the Emperor. And what I like about this is she's kind of more the traditional emperor archetype. She's not very nurturing at all. And the Empress is usually associated with that. So I do like that. I don't know. My mom was kind of like, she ran the household. So that's another memory. I grew up with my mom, but not with my dad at home. And I'm going to be doing inner child work with this deck, by the way. So I grew up with her at home, and she was kind of like, I don't know, the boss of the household. So the emperor archetype I traditionally associated with my mother figure, even though Empress is usually associated with the mother. Yeah. And another memory I have is, so like, let's say this is a dad archetype. I have a memory watching Alice in Wonderland and of my dad coming home. I remember sitting on the floor watching it, and then like the door opening and he was behind and coming into the house. And that's like a significant memory for me because I didn't grow up with him after they got divorced. I lived with just my mom. So yeah, Alice in Wonderland is so special to me. Okay, I love the sister as the Hierophant. This is her sister who's reading the book to her, I think in the beginning of the movie. But it's because I grew up with my big sister at home, and she's like 8 years older than me, I think. And she's like, I don't know, ultimate cool person to me as a child. Like I would copy everything she does, anything she was interested in, like ballet, makeup. She was into it, then so was I. And so I like that as the Hierophant, as like kind of showing Alice the ropes of life. For the lovers, we have the pair, and it's Tweedledee and Tweedledum. And I love this because, I don't know, inner child me would not connect with like a lovers type archetype. But the pair, like a troublesome pair that wants to like go play tricks on people and tell weird stories, that is way more something I would be into as a kid. I'm not sure what the apple represents, if anyone has some thoughts on the apple. But I do like this, especially for inner child work. Like, it's like a friend, you know? Like, which friend am I going to play with today and, like, get into some trouble with? The Chariot. So I sat with this one for a minute, and I felt like a connect. Okay, by the way, this is when she went through the doorknob, the little keyhole, and then on her way to the caucus race. The doorknob does show up in the deck, so look out for that. But I like this because it's like, it's connected to the Cancer, the astrological sign Cancer. And that's like an emotional type of sign. I'm a Cancer sun, by the way, if I haven't mentioned that a million times. And I like this because it's like trying to get to your goal, or maybe even get out of trouble like she is. But then all these emotions kind of led to the situation she's in. I don't know. It's relatable to me. And then here we have strength. And I think that's, well, this is one of the flowers from the wildflower scene. And I think, I don't know, that's probably like a lion type of flower. I need to, the wildflower scene is the scene that, I don't know, I just was always like least connected to because they were so mean. I guess all the characters are kind of mean, but I didn't like how they picked on her. They were so mean to her. Like, didn't they call her a weed? That's so rude. So maybe this one's like about holding your tongue a little bit and not being mean when you can be. Okay, so this is the Hermit, and I don't know, I was so excited to see what characters they would pick for each one, and this one surprised me in the best way because I was like, perfect. Isn't that so perfect? Like, he's so adorable. The little dormouse from the tea party scene with the Mad Hatter. Oh, I love that you see some of the condiments. Do you remember that part where they were like, mustard? That's like my favorite part of that scene. But yeah, perfect for the Hermit. And then here we have the caucus race. And I think that's the dodo bird. Correct me if I'm wrong. And I sat with this one for a minute too. And I was like, what would me as a child connect this to? Because like part of me was getting a little bit political in my head with like the caucus race and like the silly interpretation of it. But as a kid, what I would have thought of is that game where you run around and then you have to sit in a chair. Do you guys remember that game? And then if you don't have a chair, then you're out. Or like Duck Duck Goose, that game also. So yeah, it's kind of like a little game of chance. And then here we have Justice. And I think that's the Emperor again, the King of Hearts. And that's cool. He's doing a little a ruling when she was in court. I forget why, but like the queen wanted to cut her head off. I really don't know how this was a children's book at all. Or movie, I should say. And then we have Suspension, and this is her falling down the rabbit hole. And I like this. This is kind of like getting a perspective, a new perspective on who she was before the journey and wondering who she might be at the other end of it. I like that new perspective, especially because it leads to the transformation card. So, okay, this is the Death card, and I love the renaming to transformation, especially for like, I don't know, if a kid's going to work with this deck. I had a tarot deck when I was in elementary school, and I used to just freak out every time I got the Death card or the Tower card, but especially the Death card because of that. I don't know, it was scary. But yeah, the transformation card, we have the caterpillar because he transforms into a butterfly. And I like that they show the caterpillar as a caterpillar still because that's the part we're most attached to when we're transforming, right? Who we used to be. So I left this card out. It's like who you used to be before going on your journey. But sometimes you have to let go of that to become the beautiful butterfly that you are. This next card, Temperance. This is my favorite card. I love that they have the drink me bottle and the eat me cookies because it's like about finding that happy medium of, I don't know, it's like finding just right. Like, okay, so one of these makes you grow bigger. Some of them make you grow smaller. And yeah, it's like when she was trying to find just the perfect amount, which comes up again. Yeah, it just really ties into like the Fool's Journey, this Alice version, really nicely. Another thing about this is like as a kid, I feel like this represents a lot of times like being made to feel small. And then sometimes you want to drink the drink that makes you feel bigger, but then it's like you know, it's like a little too much. Maybe you're like me and you end up throwing a tantrum so that you can get a Alice in Wonderland VHS at Blockbuster and have weird memories tied to it. But yeah, this is like one of my favorites. It's, I don't know, I'm obsessed. If you're witchy, if you are into tarot, you're probably obsessed with little glass bottles as well. So yeah, I'm gonna put that aside. Okay, so then we have temptation. This is the devil card, and this is the otter guy who seduced the little baby oysters to follow him, and then they ate them. Like, how, literally, how is this a movie for kids? It doesn't make sense. Like, yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna show this to my kids. But yeah, basically don't follow his sweet serenade to your death. Okay, so I pulled this one out because then we have the tower. The consequences of eating a cookie that maybe you shouldn't have eaten. But yeah, I think then she eats a carrot and then shrinks back down. But this is Alice when she's in the rabbit's house. Isn't it so fun? I always love how her hair is like the roof of the house looks like her hair. But yeah, she ate one of the cookies or something in his house and grew. Okay, here we have the star. And this is, I think she was the belle of the ball of the the orchestra, the little choir of flowers. She's like the star of the show. And at first I wasn't sure how this connects to how I view the star card, which is like hopeful, healing. But then I was like, this is kind of like my higher self. And like the star represents that higher self to me and that self you want to embody. Yeah, so I like that guiding self. Also, I'm a Leo moon, and I'm very into being the star of the show, of my own little personal show. Okay, I set this one aside for this reason. So in the moon card, you see the Cheshire cat, and I love that because in the Rider-Waite-Smith, the moon has the face of the high priestess in it. So cool. And so here they connected. They made that connection as well. The one thing I wish was in this card is those signs that say this way, that way, to like represent the confusion and illusions of the moon card. But you still get that vibe looking at this card. And then here we have the sun card. It's her happy unbirthday party. This is before things got annoying for her when they wouldn't really answer her questions in a direct way, if I'm remembering correctly. But it's that fun aspect. This is like the ride at Disneyland. You have that happy unbirthday part. I don't know, I like it. And then we have Judgment. And he's blowing the trumpet, the white rabbit. Is this the first time we see the white rabbit? That's interesting. Right at the end, because he's actually the start of the story. But we don't really see him at the start, I don't think. I was going to say it's full circle if we did see him at the start. But yeah, he's blowing the trumpet, and it's like a little wake-up call because it was all a dream. And then we have the World card. And she was in Wonderland in her own mind. Cool. I love that there was that touch of reality with her sister at the Hierophant card. Because that's kind of like where she's going to in the World card in the end. So that's interesting. Okay, so first let's look at all the suits. We have the suit of flowers, which is the suit of wands. The suit of spears, which is the swords. Teacups for cups. And hedgehogs for the coins or pentacles. So that's cute. That's like what they were playing croquet with the queen. Okay, so let's start with the flowers. For the suit of flowers, we have the wildflowers that were singing. And, okay, I was trying to understand how they organized this. And I think, okay, so the queen is the conductor of the orchestra and the choir. And I think these are like, this is what it is in my head right now, but I have not verified this. But I think this is like the sopranos or maybe the altos, and this is the altos. And maybe these are the baritones. I have to verify that, but it could be like a singing thing. I'll have to ask Todd when he gets home because he's a singer. Okay. Here we have the suit of spears. Okay, so we have the page of spears, and he's painting the roses red. And we have the knight of spears. I feel like he's about to get his head cut off. Off with his head. Okay, so far all of these ones seem to relate to the, like, a court of law. Or no, that doesn't make sense for that one. I don't know. It feels like it aligns with the severity of Wonderland as it relates to the queen and her way of ruling. Because he's like about to get his head cut off. Or I could be wrong about that. But this is, the Queen of Spears is actually Alice. She like grew really tall and is telling the Queen of Hearts what she really thinks before she shrinks back down again. And then we have the King of Spears. And I think this is the hare. And I think he had to give a testimony at the court. Like he provided the key evidence. I don't know. I have to rewatch it. Yeah, maybe that's how these are all connected. Okay. What's the truth? That's what it is. It's like, what's the truth? And the suit of swords is really about truth. Okay. Here we have the page of teacups. Oh, sorry. Suit of cups. We have little wavy lines for water. Let's look at all of them at the same time. Okay, so none of these characters are connected in the story. Like they're all from different scenes, I should say. So let's see how they connect to emotions. Here we have Dinah, who is Alice's companion at the start of the journey. This is the Knight of Teacups. I think this is from when she was lost in the forest, like going this way, that way, and there were all these creatures. So the Knight of Teacups. An umbrella. That connects with water, because rain. Then we have the Queen of Teacups. And it's the oyster. That part of the movie is so sad. But the mom oyster. And then we have the doorknob for the King of Teacups. Interesting. He's kind of like a gatekeeper, huh? Interesting for the King of Teacups. Now, I don't know, like, this is Alice's starting world, the status quo. This was her lost in confusion, the Knight of Teacups. That's a character we meet at that point. But then this is back to like when she was with the Tweedledee and Tweedledum. I think they're the ones who told her the story of the oysters. Yeah, I don't know. I guess maybe it doesn't all relate to Alice, even though she's like, we're following her story. Maybe it's, in this case, it's about her nurturing qualities for the baby oysters. Are they clams? What's the difference between oysters and clams? I don't really eat those, so. Are they the same thing? Okay. And then the doorknob. Well, he's bossy, which I kind of associate more with the King of Wands, or the King of Flowers in this case. I don't know. Okay, so then we have those teacups, and now we have the suit of hedgehogs. Oh, so cute. Okay. For the page of hedgehogs, we have another one of those creatures from the This Way, That Way scene. Oh, then we have I think he's a salamander from the scene with the rabbit's house. He's like climbing the top to clean the chimney. He's a chimney sweep. But then he's like, sorry, it stopped recording again. But I was saying, but then he's scared of Alice, actually. So this is all Suit of Earth, by the way. Then we have Queen of Hedgehogs. Okay, she's protective of her eggs. Okay, that makes sense. So far, all the nurturing characters are kind of protective of their offspring. And then here we have the King of Hedgehogs. And he's actually one of the people who ate the oysters. Naughty, naughty. Okay, so I don't know how it connects to the Suit of Earth. Maybe the guidebook will have information about that. I haven't really gone through the guidebook yet. By the way, the guidebook's written by Minerva Siegel, and the deck is illustrated by Lisa Vanina. I hope I said those right. Let's do a quick shuffle, but I just wanted to say another thing I noticed about this, which is pretty obvious now. For the page of hedgehogs, which is the page of earth, he's a shovel and he digs. And it's like a very earthy thing to do. Anyways. Okay, so let me show you a quick shuffle. I like shuffling, riffle shuffling. I think that's what you call it. Like this. And it's good to keep them kind of... Okay, so when you get them too close together, that's when they have when they get stuck. So I tried to shuffle them slightly further apart, so just the tops of the cards are touching. And then it goes nice and fast. As for the overhand shuffling, I'm not a fan. I don't know, they just like kind of stick together a little bit. And yeah, I try to do jumper cards usually, but with this deck, I'm just going to be doing riffle shuffling and then cutting and then picking whatever card is at the top. Oh, we got the Six of Teacups, which is perfect for this because it's very nostalgic. Anyways, thanks for hanging out with me and going down memory lane. This is the Alice in Wonderland Tarot. I'm looking forward to seeing some other walkthroughs of this deck. I've been avoiding them, but I've seen like one up so far. But yeah, tag me, or you can't tag me on here, but Link your videos if you make a walkthrough and share your first impressions. I'd love to see what you think of the cards. Okay, bye.